Hey guys, StarCraft here with Ingrid. We're both in our own houses, but we both saw on HBO Max Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, originally, I was going to be talking about I was going to be posting our reviews because we did a movie marathon to prepare for this. It was a bit too close for comfort before the movie came out, so I decided, you know what? Let's do a live stream and then I'll post the videos afterwards. So, yeah. First of all, what did we think about the MonsterVerse so far leading up to this? We enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
The first Godzilla, good when we saw it, but then compared to the others, you need it, but at the same time, it was like...
You need a bit of momentum to get off the ground.
Exactly. Then Kong Skull Island perfectly sets up King Kong. And then Godzilla King of the Monster, our favorite one up until that point. I mean, come on, you have Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah. You had a pretty endearing human plot. A bit corniness aside, especially with how much we hated the mom. We hated her. She was beyond, like, you're supposed to sympathize with her, but there was nothing to sympathize with. But yeah, that was very good. That the setup and everything, how they explained everything. And then finding out in the novelization, where was Kong? Oh, he was on Skull Island trying to make sure the Skull Crawlers didn't join Ghidorah. That would have been bad. We already had a Muto join up. Yeah, we already had a Muto join up with them. Imagine the Skull Crawlers had. But yeah, at the end of that one, what did we then have? We then had a cliffhanger with one of the bad guys having a remaining skull of Ghidorah, or remaining head, but not regenerating. That was the weird thing. Did you ever notice that it wasn't regenerating at that point?
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Which makes me wonder, it probably was a case where only the main body would regenerate, not a decapitated head.
Yeah, it's just like, you gotta have something to work off of there.
Exactly, but that's a key part with what we're about to talk about as we go over Godzilla vs. Kong, which we both saw. I saw it first, she saw it later in the day, but overall, loved it.
Loved it indeed.
This is going to be, obviously, you guessed that I have the stuff here for HBO Max. We're going to be doing very spoiler heavy, but hey, come on, it's an awesome movie. Why shouldn't we?
Let's gush about it.
Yep. So yeah, I'm not going to be playing it, but and playing through it. I'm just going to skip around. But we open up on somewhere on Skull Island. This is around. Actually, this is what to be said in 2024 because it's what to be 5 years after King of the Monsters, which was set in the year 2019. So this is technically in our future.
Huh. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it actually does get to that point in 2024.
Provided we all get out of quarantine by then. But yeah, we open up with, there's Kong, much older, fully grown now, and sporting a pretty nice beard.
Mm-hmm. Just lazing around having the time of his life.
It's for the most part. And yeah, when he opens up, when he wakes up, it's like very much a guy waking up, right down to scratching his own butt, getting showered and everything. But yeah, see, look at that yawn. It's just like a... But yeah, him getting showered, and we see him meet up with this young girl. What was her name? Gia?
I think her name was Nia.
Yeah, I think it was Gia with a J. Gia.
Gia, something like that. I had difficulty following the names in the movie.
But yeah, she's a deaf girl, and her actress is deaf from a deaf family.
Yeah, I really liked that part about her character. It sort of added a certain level of depth and sort of made why she can be the one that specially communicate with Kong, because hey, she has that sort of nonverbal intuition that other people just simply don't.
Yep, and she's one of the remaining of the natives from Kong Skull Island. They apparently, well, we'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, we then see that she has this cute little stuffed Kong, pretty much, made from the local materials. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
It's like her little teddy bear. Or Teddy Kong. But then you see Kong, he grabbed this big stick, tree, and took it off, and then through it, and we find out that turns out, yeah, all of the sunny day, it's actually not that sunny. Monarch has been keeping him contained, and turns out it's constantly storming outside. We then find out later on, all the natives were either killed off or left. Yeah, I feel a bit bad. I feel bad for that. It's like, oh, come on. Especially when you actually read the comics and you find out that the two people from Monarch, the black guy and the Asian woman, they got together and had a kid, and their kid was on the island last time we saw. So don't know if he got off or if he died, but yeah. And we're introduced. Oh, that's the problem with doing it through this way and trying not to play it, you know. Come on. We're introduced to this woman, just forgot her name too. No, Ila. And she's basically, you know, the adopted mother of Jia, and she knows sign language and everything, and she's very much pro Kong for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'll be honest, I did not care for her in the trailer stuff because she was the one who kept saying Kong Bob was the no one and everything. But now that I actually see her, she's not that bad. She is actually very endearing. Indeed.
It's just like she's trying to get it, though there are obviously some disconnects here and there.
Exactly. Especially when everyone keeps on suggesting, like, there's nothing else for Kong here. And that's a better image. I kept saying, you know, I'll be honest, I kept thinking she was Scarlett Johansson sometimes. She kind of looks a bit like her, doesn't she? Just a little.
You dye the hair? Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, but yeah, she basically keep on suggesting, let's try and move Kong out so he can help us find the Hollow Earth. And basically then she's all like, no, the moment he leaves, Godzilla's going to come for him because he's another alpha. And now again, she doesn't know that for certain, but everything they've seen says there was an ancient rivalry between Kong's kind and Godzilla's kind. So she has every reason to at least think Godzilla's going to come gunning. I think she might be a little off base, but not entirely.
Yeah.
It's
an honest mistake.
Well, yeah, because again, who else? And anyone would make that assumption based off of everything. Oh, just want to say, I hate gateways in the comics if you're still there. But yeah, then we get the the credits, which I like these credits, you know, just falling off.
Oh, yes, I really liked that opening credits sequence.
Completely was the constant, like we've had from the other Godzilla movies, the censoring, you know, of other words, but leaving what the actual main credit is. And then we open up with, hold on. And there's trouble. We're opening up with this podcast going on, handled by this guy. What was his name? Bernie, who is a nice guy, but I think sometimes they try to juggle between him being a good guy with a troubled past and being a conspiracy theorist. When he's the former, he's fine. When he's the latter, it gets on my nerves. Yeah, it sort of ends up kind of being like B-plot comic relief sort of territory. Yeah, I mean, again, the times like this opening stuff here, he is fine because it's everything of his conspiracies deal with it, and it tells you he's willing to go deep undercover for his conspiracy. He's not one of those who like just sits like, oh, I'm going to be coming up with all this stuff but not doing anything. No, he does it. It's like, wow, I give him props. But then he starts talking about other conspiracy stuff. I'm like, why do I have a feeling that they decided let's tack it on to this guy to try and give him more levity? Because that stuff felt not really in character. Yeah, it's just like, I sort of like, when I was taking notes about the movie, I kind of referred to like the squad with Kong as like the mystery gangsters. It kind of felt like I was watching a Scooby-Doo movie with different aesthetics when they were on screen, and then obviously the Hollow team when we were dealing with the folks who were with Kong. Which I say Kong has the better human story going on. But again, but a lot of it is because they just had to add this stuff onto you know, Bernie and all that I felt was not needed. But eventually Godzilla shows up at Apex. Oh, there's an image.
There is definitely an image.
That looks a little, when you freeze frame it, that looks a little suggestive, doesn't it? If you know what I mean, what he looks like.
Yeah, let's find a different frame.
There we go. But yeah, Godzilla shows up and starts attacking this Apex Corporation building. Believe it or not, Apex, its name is a bit more on the nose, but we don't find it out yet. But why is he there? This, which it turns out is an eyeball, but we don't know that yet.
Yeah, though it sure looks ominous as hell from this standpoint.
Exactly. It looks very ominous, and it's basically sending out this signal and everything. There's Godzilla in the background attacking, and then sure enough, CNN of all people are the first ones to say Godzilla no longer Titan Savior. Of course it was CNN. Why wouldn't it be anyone else? Okay. To be fair, CNN is also owned by Warner Bros. So of course, if they're going to use a real news station, use your own.
Yeah.
But still, though, it's like, yeah, from as far as they're seeing it, Godzilla came out of nowhere after 5 years and just started wrecking the place. I mean, yeah, that's as they will say, Godzilla attacking and no one knows why. And then we're reintroduced to Madison, who
is listening to the podcast, Bernie's podcast.
Exactly. And I gotta say, there's only a few years gap between King of the Monsters. I'm talking real world, and boy, she grew up fast.
Oh, damn, yeah.
But not in a, like, she grew up, just, like, got taller and everything. It's like, you know what I mean, right? Because she's still,
yeah, it looks like I could see someone like that on a college campus and not blink an eye.
Yep, although the thing is, she's only 16.
Oh. Okay, not college, high school.
High school, yeah. But yeah, she's only 16, but she definitely looks it. But yeah, it looks like the close-up of a rabbit face earlier. Yep, earlier, yeah, it kind of did. But yeah, I liked it. And she tries to tell her father, something's going on. And this is where I feel like her father's completely wasted here.
Yeah.
It felt like, why did you bring him back? I mean, basically he's running Monarch now. Makes sense. I mean, that does make sense without I just forgot his name now. Shirazawa, without Shirazawa and the others, and given how the one woman that was still around was she was more of a scientist, less of a leader, head person, it makes sense for him to take over Monarch. But yeah, he basically like, Godzilla's attacking, we don't know why. And she's trying to say, like, you were there with Mom, which we skipped it. There's a nice news article where they even ask, Emma Russell, hero and villain and savior or villain? I'm like, well, at least they're actually acknowledging people were divided on her. Because I bet you if they had their way, it would have been savior. But it's like, no, because people were so divided, decided, let's have the real world be just as divided. Let's have, the news and everything be just as divided. But yeah, her father's kind of, again, pointless as she then, she's listening more to his Bernie's podcast. And then we're introduced to, let's just say the CEO.
Yeah, in my notes, he was the CEO. We find out his name is Russell later, but
no,
honestly,
he's not Russell. That's the other one.
Oh.
Let me double check. I have the names. He is Simmons.
Oh, Simmons.
Walter Simmons. And we're also introduced to Nathan Lynn, who I liked. I liked him.
I liked Nathan too.
Complete goofball.
It's just like, I just kind of got thrown into this thing because of my work, but I'm going to do my best to adapt to this crazy-ass situation.
But then we're also introduced to the most divisive character, Ren Shirazawa. What the hell was the point of this character? At least having him related to Shirazawa. At least, what was the point of having him be related to Shirazawa?
It's like, if you're not going to capitalize on that plot point, why capitalize that for some kind of plot point? Why put it there?
Exactly. Why even bother? It's just, I didn't get it at all. Especially because, let's just be, okay, spoiler, and again, this is a spoiler video. He built Mechagodzilla. But the thing is, if you go by the novelizations, he and his father were already not on good terms. To the point where Serizawa, his father, had given a family heirloom to I forget her name, but the woman who later got killed by King Ghidorah in the last movie. It's like, that tells you right there, he trusted a colleague with a family heirloom more than he did his own son. And his son, was he after revenge? Does he not agree with his father? It's never made clear. And
yeah, nor is it explored in any depth. It's just like, you can't even really make a definitive thing. It's just like, is this guy the voice of reason? Is he batshit crazy? We don't see him enough on screen to really be able to tell anything meaningful.
I know, and the thing is, we see a bit of both. We later on see him going batshit insane when he's controlling Mechagodzilla, but then later on he's saying we don't know how this new power source is going to react with the system. It's like, I mean, I get it. He's like, I'm going to be putting my butt in there. I don't want to get killed. You could say that, but his attitude came off too much like his father would, and it's like, again, we don't know what their relation was. Was it good? Was it close to the novelization? Is it its own thing? What happened? Never explained why he's doing this.
Mm-hmm.
This was the big clear indication why I knew we were going to have issues with the Apex part of the plot.
Yeah, in my notes, they were basically discount Shinra.
That's from Final Fantasy VII, right?
Yeah, because it's just like, oh, you want to take out the particular energy source in the planet to power a super weapon. It's been done before better. The best I can give you is that your light aesthetics were kind of cool and creepy, and that's about it.
Exactly. But, then when they start talking about the Hollow Earth, which we've been building up ever since Kong Skull Island.
Mm-hmm.
And according to they keep on saying there's no other good entrance. Well, obviously besides the underwater one, but that's probably still irradiated from the nuke they used.
Mm-hmm.
So the only option they have is Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, it turns out him and Ila actually have a history together. Hold on, just a whole lot. That talking point stuff was a lot longer than I saw it.
Oh boy, yeah.
Hold on. Here we go. Please be the right. Yep. Yeah, two are talking it out, and he's trying to say, help us bring Kong. And they even say, turns out Skull Island is the Hollow Earth breaking its way out onto the surface. I like that idea. Yeah, that is a good idea to explain where all the monsters came from and everything. Now, one thing I want to point out, people kept on saying how apparently leading up to this movie, it was said all of the monsters are on Skull Island and Kong is ruling them. Not true whatsoever. That must have been either an early draft or something, but because there's besides a few other creatures here and there's nothing left on Skull Island.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, basically they finally convinced them, saying, what about Godzilla? We'll avoid him and everything. We'll do what we can, and basically even made clear, maybe he can actually find a better home down there. And that finally convinces Ila to go along with it. It's like, fine. And then the one moment that kind of almost, I'll believe it or not, it almost took me out, was Kong already on the boat. We just cut to him on the boat. I was like, wait, what?
How'd you get him there?
Yep. Now, Chance, and especially since we don't know yet the girl could communicate.
Mm-hmm.
There must have been like a whole huge chunk of them trying to get him, get him on that boat. Especially since the funny thing is that they had, and in the original Godzilla versus King Kong, they had to shoot all of this berry juice to get him so drunk that he passed out.
Mm-hmm.
But think about that. You had to get him so plastered he collapsed. I mean, I'll say this. At least Kong in the Peter Jackson King Kong used chloroform very effectively.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to assume they did something similar. I'm going to assume they used chloroform. That's the only thing I can think of right now.
Hey, maybe they should have taken the time where all of the scenes where Ren was in and then replaced it with how you ended up doing that, and you would have gotten a more cohesive use of that time.
Yeah, you could just have Ren be some random guy, which is pretty much what he is anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then they start, and I do like how they're being smart. I do like it how they're being smart. They're saying we're avoiding Godzilla's usual route and everything. Oh, and we're also introduced to this woman. That's Maya Simmons. That's the CEO's daughter. And I already knew Bad Girl I already knew she was the bad girl.
Mm-hmm.
The moment she showed up.
Yep, it's just like blaring red lights.
Yep, and since we already know that Apex are the bad guys, you just knew right away. You're like, and while they did say we can try and get the energies, it wasn't as up on the up and up what they had in mind when they made the agreement.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then we have some nice moments going on. And then in the middle of the night, Hila goes to Kong. Hold on, come on, it's loading. Hold on. Yeah, just goes right at him as he starts to throw a fit. Oh, hold on, let me get to the. Yeah, I love this moment right here.
Me too.
And it feels like this is where you start to realize about her being one of the natives.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, that makes sense. And then reveals that they could talk and she could communicate. And again, why did Maya say is Kong talking? Like, does she know sign language? How did she know he was talking? But yeah, he does the home gesture, and I'm like, I love that. That was a nice reveal.
Yeah, it really was.
And then later on, she tells Eli that he didn't want me to tell you. He didn't trust you. But now everyone knows. And then Gina's like, yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but yeah, then we're introduced to Josh. That's Madison's other friend, and I did not care. Oh, bad image. Oh, come on. That's one thing I hate about these pauses is, there we go. I did not care for him at all. He was a load. I'm sorry. He was a load. Would you agree with that? Especially when his chance of trying to help at the end turned out being for nothing, except, he doesn't come up with the one idea. That's the whole point. Aside from Madison, the whole point of Bernie and Josh is just to help us get to the end point where they could help save the day.
Yeah, it just kind of felt like the B plot.
Yeah, it felt, again, at least with the Kong side, it felt like that was the A plot more than we thought.
Mm-hmm.
But then, although again, I love how Madison just gets in the car and everything. It's like, you coming? Door stuck. Starts to drive off, and then he's like, hey, just jumps in the side.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to wait for him. And then they show up, and hold on, let me get to where that guy is. I like this guy, the Asian guy.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
He was kind of funny. It was just like, you want to buy candy? And then Josh realizes, oh, he wants us to give him money for it. Okay, we'll get candy. Oh, Birdie, yeah, I'll tell you where he's at if you buy that fish. Oh, that was funny. It's like, well, can't blame the guy for trying to be a capitalist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then they meet up with Bernie, and basically Madison had to mention who her name is, and he's like immediately like, oh, Emma Russell, and I'm like, really? You're gonna focus on the mom, not the dad? But yeah, then we get some trying to get to a good frozen image. Hold on. Oh, come on. I'm trying to get.
Listen, we want to talk about.
Don't want to get in trouble with with HBO Max, but I will just keep it there. They're talking with him. He's revealing what he knows and what he shows. Then we find out he has this liquor. What's it called again? The container on the What are those things called? You know what I'm talking about, right? Those little liquor things. But for some reason, he keeps it in a gun holster. Never explain why they do that. Why he does that.
Mm-hmm.
But then he says as soon as it's something his wife gave to him before she died, and he says as soon as it's empty, he'll stop doing what he's doing. But I felt that was touching. When he's not going overboard in the conspiracy stuff that's beyond Apex, it works. The whole thing about bleach and everything, I'm like, okay, that's a good way for them to track him, but do we have to focus on all the other type of things like tap water and all that? Really?
Mm-hmm.
That felt, again, it just felt like,
Yeah, it just felt really egregious and just kind of takes you out of it.
Especially when he's the guy who has like over hundreds of podcast episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But then, well, we soon get to the big moment, the moment we've all been waiting for. Godzilla showing up.
Mm-hmm. Like a shark in the waters.
And he cuts in. If you remember, in the very first Godzilla movie, he ducked under the aircraft or the battleship or whatever. In this case, nope. He just plows right through that shit.
Mm-hmm.
This was great. Now, why is he? They even ask like, why is he diverting route? They don't actually make it clear, but given how later on he starts to leave after they shut the power down, my guess is there was some of the apex energy was, made him indicate the signal that's been driving him nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And now they eventually release Kong because very good points. Like Kong's a sitting duck if we don't let him go.
Mm-hmm.
And then let me find where they actually get on board the aircraft carrier because that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it?
No, we're
That was cute. Well, either way, they chase off Kong as Godzilla with depth charges.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to find the big punch. Oh, there it is. There we go.
Yee!
But then what does Godzilla do? He's like, bitch, please, as he backhands them.
Yeah.
And yeah, this first round goes to Godzilla handedly. But what do you expect? You're on his territory around the water.
Yeah, it's just like, what did you expect was going to happen?
But then they realize they can't turn the ships back on because Godzilla will find them. So they had to figure out another way to get there. But before we see Team Godzilla, let's just call them Team Godzilla, going to the Apex lab. But then it turns out there's still stuff going on down the ground still when they go down to the lower labs. And yet there's people here, and yet no security sees them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. What?
Somebody rolled a nat 1 on a perception check.
Yep. But then the big twist, there's skull crawler eggs. Now, how the hell does Madison know that? What they are?
Yeah, it's just like...
I mean, obviously, her dad works for Monarch. They probably know about the skull crawlers, but that still felt a little like, you've been focusing on Godzilla, not Kong, Madison.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, I can let it slide to a degree, but it was still one of those moments where I did a double take, like, how the hell? Okay, Monarch, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're like, why do they have these eggs? Even she asked that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turns out the ships they're on, which we find out these and heaves is what they're called, or like hover vehicles. They can release enough energy as they put it to power up Las Vegas for a week. Which I'm like, where the hell do they get the money and technology and resources to build these things if they're that powerful? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, they're stuck on it and it transports them. Then, but yeah, what do? They end up flying Kong there, which actually is reminiscent of the original Kong versus Godzilla. Except in that case, they used balloons. Just imagine a whole bunch of balloons carrying Kong. This is more serious, but yeah, they bring him up to the Arctic. But once they take him to the entrance, Kong doesn't want to go in. Oh, come on. Yeah, there it is. Kong does not want to go in. I mean, can you blame him?
It's just like you're used to a tropical environment. They chucked you at snow. What the frick is this stuff?
But they end up they got moved a little. But then they decide to kind of lie to him. But at least they word it in a way that's not a full-on lie. They say there could be more of his kind down there. And yeah, more family. But of course, it's like, you sure? Like, I don't know. So they tell him, and he just books it. He just like, more of me? You got it. I mean, like, oh.
And now they're the ones that have to keep up with him.
Yep. And Trying to get to there too. Get to that point. Yeah, by this point, we're nearing the hour mark.
Mm-hmm.
We're about the halfway point already. But yeah, they eventually soon make their way into the Hollow Earth, which actually was incredible. I gotta say that.
I freaking loved the Hollow Earth. The imagery was fantastic. It's just like I am getting a million different ideas for making stuff. Just seeing this, it's just like I suppose I'm a little bit biased because I have my own thing with there sort of being this massive like mysterious thing on the underside of the continent that it's just like, ooh, I can get so many ideas from this.
Yep, and I do love how they actually have the Hollow Earth be. There's not like a giant tunnel that takes you down. It's almost like a warp that kind of transports you there.
Mm-hmm. It's just like, yeah, this is not the thing that's going to be existing under like normal physical conditions, and they acknowledge that.
Exactly, especially when how you reach at the point where gravity kind of shifts.
Yeah, it's just like, we're playing with a different ball game now. There are different rules here.
Yep. Oh, and I'm trying to get to a good shot of the Hollow Earth so we can show it. That's the problem with this thing. He also fights a bunch of other monsters. War bats, they're called.
Mm-hmm. I just called them flying snakes in my notes.
There they are. There it is.
Oh, yeah, it's a good shot.
Oh, yeah, and look, you can see not only there's ground down below, there's ground up above.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, and the moment I saw there were 3 ships with the leads on 2 of them, you knew one of them was just going to blow up.
Yep, one of them's expendable.
Yep, and sure enough, yep. Oh, here's the bit with Kong. I hope it gets on the right frame. Oh, that was a good one.
Ooh, that is a good one indeed.
Hey, look at Kong. He's so curious.
It's just like, ooh, what's this shiny thing?
Well, I'm gonna chuck it. Yeah, I think it's more it's like is this where? Why do I feel so drawn here? I look at it more like that, like he feels drawn.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a good reason for that. Oh, but then we see Team Godzilla make it into what they say if they're the CEO turn for it, they're in the sacrificial chamber.
Yeah, that was one of the better lines from their side of things.
Yep. I think most of the best lines went to Madison.
Mm-hmm.
More so. Bernie got some good ones, but Josh, not really any. But then, then we find out that Shirazawa Ren is the one involved with the in the ship. But where is it? Oh, there it is. Here's the big Mecha G. Please tell me if it gets on the right frame. Oh, nope. Come on. That's what's like I said, that's what is annoying about this. You never know where it's going to stop.
Oh, I got chills.
Yep. And then what do they use to test it on? A freaking skull crawler.
And it basically just liquidates the thing.
And it's bigger than Ramarak from the Kong Skull Island.
Oh, now there's a mug shot.
Yep. There it is. Yeah, I mean, just look at that. It's just like, wow. They take it out. Turns out, though, they want the Hollow Earth energy because just taking out this one skull crawler kills it. Or not kills it, but drains him.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they make their way inside, and eventually they find out the big twist. Well, first, I should say Godzilla feels drawn there. So, now that they've activated him. But again, why is that? We'll find out in just a few more moments. But, yeah, we then see Kong has made it into his throne room.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what I call it. It was his throne room.
Yeah, it's just like, I sort of thought, ooh, this looks like some pretty cool temple thing.
Yep, and there's other Kong statues like right in the back. You see in the back?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Rrr! And then he picks up the axe that was made from a Godzilla dorsal fin. Which we've seen those in the trailers, but I love how it's utilized here.
It's just like, ooh, now there's how he's going to get a leg up.
Especially against Godzilla's oh yeah, just look at that.
That's swagger.
Yeah. But come on.
Oh yeah, I've made it.
Yep, he's made it. He's made it to a place that he belongs. They land the ships. Oh, come on. Yeah, there it is. Him on his throne with his axe. That looks pretty hardcore, doesn't it? It looks like
that on a metal band cover.
Yep, he looks finally like an actual King Kong, doesn't he? It doesn't feel like he's a theoretical king or he's just a king of the island. No, he looks like a king.
Mm-hmm.
No crown needed. He just has his weapon and his throne. But then when we cut back to Team Godzilla, the biggest twist. The one that you're like, this explains so much. King Ghidorah's skull.
Oh man, this is another case of it's just, oh boy, it sent shivers up the spine.
Now keep in mind, this was the docile head of Kevin, as everyone likes to call him, because that's the one that got cut off. But it doesn't matter, it's still Ghidorah.
Yeah.
And we find out that basically they converted his brain. I don't know if his brain's supposed to be it's right there in the skull or if it's in the Mechagodzilla. They never make that clear.
Mm-hmm.
Did we just see the skull? We find out now this isn't in Mechagodzilla. This is still in Apex's area. But yeah, Ren is controlling it. And basically the way they're doing it is he's doing his controls and then it's sending it in through, like a supercomputer, like Bernie says, and translates human impulses to kaiju impulses. Which now when you think about it, that is an ingenious idea.
It really is.
They just had to use an alien apex predator that tried to take over the world to do it.
It's just a shame that Apex's writing material is made out of cardboard.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they sneaked their way through. Again, one of the useless uses, the more useless uses of Ren, because he's just like, his eyes are rolled back and everything. But yeah, then eventually Godzilla makes his way to Hong Kong, because that's where they're located. You're like, oh shit!
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, I love the aesthetics for Hong Kong. You know,
the lighting in this movie in general just sets such a stage. Just so many colors against this darker backdrop that really helps cast this cool contrast onto all of the action.
And the thing is, that's pretty much how it is in Hong Kong. It's not like they had to change it. That's what it's like there at night.
Mm-hmm.
Which I also gotta say, I am grateful we finally get a Godzilla movie that actually has daytime fights, both the earlier one and the later one. And even this fight, no rain, no nothing, and we have enough light to show it off.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually then, we find out Godzilla's thermonuclear breath actually ties in to the Hollow Earth energy somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And Kong puts down the axe. Turns out there's a bunch of other axes that make an image of Godzilla. But Godzilla senses that he don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get to it where it's at. Oh yeah, Apex makes their move to try and take the energy. There we go. Look at that.
Yee!
Oh, but Godzilla realizes something's up. And what was your analogy? Like an adult?
It's like realizing that a 13-year-old has gotten a hold of the gun that you keep hidden for emergencies. It's like, oh no,
and what
you're
does he
gonna
do?
hurt yourself and others with that thing.
What does he do? Yep, right in the ground. You're like, oh shit. Shit, and the funny thing is, that seems so laughable, and yet, you know, when the fact that it's a guy, I think that's pretty much like a god. You're like, I can accept it.
Mm-hmm.
But then comes the weird thing: they're not trying to steal a sample; they're trying to scan a sample so they can synthesize the energy. How?
What? It'd make a lot more sense if you had like brought a bunch of like batteries to kind of like
Well, of course, that
suck
would
it all up. That would make a lot more sense.
Now, granted, I get it because that would require having to send it back up, and then like you'd have to go all the way around to Antarctica and all the way back because they don't know about Godzilla shooting a hole down there when they planned it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of get it from you're trying to make it expedient. But here's the thing, though. When Godzilla shoots down, first, they start to do the dumb thing. They threaten Team Kong and basically decide, yep, we're taking everything, and Kong ain't happy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please tell me it stops on that image. Yep. Oh. Yeah, he's not happy. And then eventually he gets a hold of Maya, who, boy, she was kind of pointless in the end, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. He grabs onto her, looks at her. Oh, come on. I'm getting really annoyed by all this, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's like it won't perfectly put me on the right spot. Oh, please tell me it stops there. Nope, not where I wanted to stop. Come on. I wanted to see him crush it. Well, basically, yeah, that was a weird bird design, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Make it, you don't want the big war bats again. Oh, come on. I saw it earlier. Oh, yeah, he sees them. Oh, shit. And that was awesome. That was awesome.
I love how smug Kong looks there. Like,
yeah, he's just like,
oh, really now? You think you're so tough. Well, take this.
And he does it so casually.
Yeah, it's just like,
yeah,
he's on top of the world.
But yeah, when
even though he's under it.
But yeah, when Godzilla roared down there, I think that was him basically saying, know your place, don't bother. But as far as Kong is concerned, he's like, I just found my heritage, and you just damaged it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you gotta remember, Kong and Godzilla is really ancient. Kong isn't. You remember, he was just a teenager in Skull Island.
He's the new kid on the block who's still trying to figure all of this out.
But yeah, I love it. He grabs the axe. He's like, I know what I'm going to do. And then, well, yeah, then of course they get captured. It's like, oh, it took him this long to get captured? Really?
It's just like, you finally roll this perception check that was above a 10. Fantastic.
Yep, but yeah, then Kong makes his way up. And yeah, the fight was awesome. It was a great fight.
Oh, yes. It's just like, I am watching a kaiju wrestling match. There's just like, it's like, even though like Kong's clearly the more inexperienced of the two, you can still tell it's just like, you know what, maybe it would not necessarily be a great idea to take him head on. I'm going to try to maybe do a bit more of a tactical approach with this.
Yep, and you gotta remember, this is his territory.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where he's pretty much in a urban jungle. So he starts using it, and he eventually uses the axe, and, well, we'll get to that point. But yeah, I love how Godzilla barely gets a shot off. Although when he does have a killer smile. Yeah, just look at that with Kong. He's just like, ooh, gotta dodge it. Oh, shit. That was clearly an oh, shit as they got caught. It's like, oh, crud.
Mm-hmm.
But then I love it, though, when Team Kong gets their way out. I cracked up when they showed up right as Kong was roaring and everything. Oh, not there yet. Oh, that's awesome. We've seen that, but you've all seen that from the trailer. You did that. That's how he gets hit. He wins round 2, but what? Yeah, hear this part. that felt like, hey, I want to go on that ride. That is not what you're going to come back out to of Kong going, roar, like, ah! That was great. But yeah, Kong wins the next round. But Really? Was it the second round? Because Godzilla gets right back up. But yeah, here's the CEO ranting. Basically, why is it called Apex? Because they want to make humanity the apex predators again.
Again?
Yeah, they never really were. That's the Titans were dormant.
Mm-hmm.
Dormant does not mean you're the apex.
Mm-hmm. I can't help but remember the line of "This is their world, we're just living in it."
Exactly. Now, I get the general idea of wanting to come up with an anti-Titan, machine. On its own, if we didn't have Godzilla, that would have been fine. Like, keep it in storage, though. Don't activate it. Because that's, as Madden says, you're the reason why Godzilla's gone nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Especially using Ghidorah. Because basically, as far as...
You really think that you can just keep that under control? Like, really?
Oh, yeah. And then, let's see if I can show it. Oh. I showed it to you before we started the stream. Oh, this is when he finds out about Madison, who she is. And he actually makes the connection to her father instead. Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry, again, I just don't like Emma at all. But yeah, Godzilla gets his second win, and good God, is he vicious. When you realize then, he's been toying with Kong. Especially, keeps on breathing. But yeah, Godzilla getting on all fours.
That's feral.
He is mauling him like a grizzly bear. And it turned out that moment everyone keeps seeing from the trailers of them roaring at each other, that's Godzilla telling him, stay down, boy. Oh, come on, please get to it. Oh, that's the other thing I love. We get so many close-up shots in this movie.
Yeah, it's just like, I think you mentioned this before, but it's just like, you can really get the feeling of what they're all feeling from like their various like facial expression and stuff.
That's right.
Which is really good setup for later on.
Yep, that's right. All this Godzilla's basically like, you're tough, I'll give you that, but know your place. Just look at that. Oh. And Kong, yeah. Yeah, that's him basically saying, stay down. I could kill you anytime. That's pretty much...
Come on, man.
Am I right? That's basically what he's saying, but Kong won't listen. But Kong is down and out. Godzilla really did a number, and this makes it clear. Godzilla is the winner. Hands down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we got a definitive winner, aren't you? Not like they just happened to win this particular fight. No, this makes it clear Godzilla could win anytime he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
And Kong, they're fellow alphas, but he is so out of his depth. But unfortunately, he still did a number on Godzilla, and Godzilla is exhausted. Which eventually leads into they're getting ready to power up the energy in there. But if you listen ever carefully, did you hear that?
No. My maker.
Listen.
It's not only Godzilla's equal.
Did you hear that?
I took a couple of tries, but I heard it.
You hear Ghidorah's cry. You're like, oh shit. And then...
See, 10 years ago, when Gojira
look,
first
oh shit. They realize, uh-oh.
And in that dream, I saw one thing. And that beautiful, amazing thing was...
Yep. Oh shit, indeed. And then
somehow that managed to be his best moment in the movie.
Yep. Oh come on, let me get back to it. But he's not the only one that gets killed, and this is why I do not like why they use Ren. But though, let me get back to it. Come on. But I can figure out just where things are. Please tell me we see it there.
See, 10 years ago.
Come on, come on. Oh, come on. Can we see it? Basically, Ren gets zapped and killed.
Beautiful, amazing.
See, it happened so quick, I can't even get to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it happens just so suddenly. Come on. This is annoying. This is so annoying that I can't even show it. There it is. See what I mean?
What was your point of being in this movie, man?
Exactly. What was his whole point being in this movie? Being, again, he could have just been some random guy. Did he have to be related to Shirazawa? But then, here he comes. Right out of the mountain.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
And I gotta say, it's fitting that he's powered by King Ghidorah because just like King Ghidorah, like a demon coming out of the mountain. More of an this is more of an Asian demon.
Mm-hmm.
Or Asian devil, wouldn't you agree?
Something like that.
But yeah, he is attacking them, and yeah. And Godzilla gets his ass handed to him. Okay, come on. Oh yeah, yeah, Ghidorah's in charge now. That's why he's so vicious. Come on. Trying to actually get a good example of the fight. Oh, where is it? Right there. Ow! Seriously. And again, remember, this was the docile head. Imagine if the other two were in charge. But yeah, then they realize Kong is dying. His heartbeat is dropping. So what do they decide to do? They decide to use the heave. Hello?
Oh, I'm still here.
Sorry, you went quiet. But yeah, they decided to use the heave to jumpstart him. Hold on. No, yeah, but yeah, it works, and then you have Ile explain to Godzilla saying Godzilla and to Kong saying Godzilla's not enemy. That's enemy. Which I like that too. That explains a lot, right? It's like Kong was ready to go and fight Godzilla again.
Mm-hmm.
And
because we've seen this throughout the whole movie, that makes sense.
Yep, that's enemy. It's true. Yeah, he's like, look at him. He's like,
really?
Yeah, really. I think, but I have to wonder. Do you think it's like a really like, but I want to fight him, or do you think it's more like a, I done fucked up? What do you think it is? That look.
I think it's more in column B.
More like I done fucked up. Because let's be honest, he kind of did.
It's just like, I bit off way more than I could chew, trying to prove myself.
Yep, and he probably could have stopped this thing beforehand if I didn't decide to be all macho.
Mm-hmm. It's character growth right there.
Yep. But yeah, and then you get the point where Godzilla is looking, yeah, he's about ready to kill Godzilla. And did you notice, what does this look like? What did Godzilla do to the female Muto?
Ooh.
He
blast right in the face.
Right in the mouth. He was about ready to do it, and then...
Yeah!
I cheered. Granted,
frick yes.
Granted, it was just me, but then you get my favorite moment. Oh, please tell me we got this one. Come on. No, that's not it. My favorite moment in the whole movie is when the two tag team him. Yeah, here we go. Yep, they both pull him right into the building. That was awesome. But even Mechagodzilla is too much for either of them. Sorry, I got these pop-ups going on at the same time. But yeah, so eventually it looks like they're not going to win. And Bernie's about to take one last swig. And then the one moment where Josh does something good, he takes the,
Well, drink.
yeah, takes it, pours it in. And I got to say, I have my favorite line for Bernie right here.
That's the solution. I gotta die here with you and sober.
I got to die here with you and sober. But it gives them an opening. But then it's not just a case for Kong to win. Oh, no. He still needs Godzilla's help. Oh, hold on. Please, let me, please.
I gotta die here with you and sober.
Come on. Oh. Come on. It's my first time doing all this, guys. Oh, yeah. He's trying to do it, and then Godzilla, yep, powers it up.
Yeah.
And Kong's like, thank you. I agreed with that. Yeah. And he finishes him off. But then he's exhausted afterwards.
Well, I mean,
Well, first we get to him holding up, defeating Mechagodzilla, because that was an awesome, very Predator moment. I will give Mechagodzilla this. He's limbless, and even then he was ready to still take one more shot.
yeah.
There we go. Of course, you realize if this was Kevin, this was the third time he's been decapitated. So it's like, not again.
Not again.
And now Ghidorah is dead for good. There's nothing left. Now, Madison meets up with her dad. Bernie tries to say, you want to be on my podcast and all that. But then we get this moment. Go on.
It's amazing. It happened right
Yeah. Now this is the moment where I think it really shows their expressions.
Oh, yeah.
Look, Godzilla there, he's just like, hold on. Now she's all like, not again, don't fight again. But I look at Godzilla, he's like, you want to go one more time? Let's go. Like he's basically saying, like, you want to do it? And what does Kong do? I'm not gonna try and skip to it. He drops it. And then Godzilla, he walks off as like, this more than the first movie feels like, I'm too old for this shit, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel even more so like I'm too old for this shit, the way he walks
Yeah,
off?
it really does. It's just like, damn kids up on my lawn.
Exactly. And it pretty much then ends, Godzilla goes back to the water and Kong's out and stays in the Hollow Earth instead of Skull Island. And that's
it
the end.
bookends pretty nicely.
It does. It really does. And so, yeah, that's the movie. And overall, I get a 9 or 9.5, either 1 out of 10.
I would concur with that.
But it's guys know ahead of time since I haven't posted a review. We gave King of the Monsters a perfect 10. That still stands.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the human interactions, the Team Godzilla and the Apex stuff, that hurt it badly.
Yeah. How would you fix it, though? In your own ideal world, how would you fix that?
That's the thing, though. You can't fix it without adding too much to the runtime, because this is only under 2 hours. This was a breeze. And it
really was.
So that's the thing, though. How can you do it without ballooning the runtime? That's the unfortunate thing. I mean, okay, I would say drop the Shirazawa connection. You don't need it.
Yeah, you really don't.
Have him be, you could still have Ren, whatever his name is, maybe name after some other character, Sagusa or something, because there was a Mickey Sagusa. Something else. Name him after some other character. You can still have him there. Don't make any import focus on him. Just have it be like a little Easter egg name drop, not a serious main one. The thing is, the bad guy's plan, it's very stock Godzilla when you really think about it. But I mean, what would you do again without ballooning the runtime? That's the hard part, isn't it? Because this was a perfect runtime, I felt.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question.
Yeah, because
I think it's pretty easy to say cut out some of like the more like what you said before, cut out some of like the other like extra conspiracy stuff they labeled onto Bernie to maybe inject that to be a bit more serious.
Yeah. Cut some of that out, maybe then add in a little bit more with Apex. Like, again, having the guy be evil, business, okay.
It's just like you can make that kind of plot work, but I feel like it needed just like a little bit more substance to it. Like
and have the guy be less
mustache twirling, yeah. Maybe just a little bit of conflicted over. It's just like
because even Jonah in King of the Monsters was a bit hammy, but not that hammy. You actually felt like
where it's just like throwing a little bit of conflict of, is this really the best way to be fighting the Titans? Is like trying to use the same stuff as the Titans? Is that going to just like, isn't that us just kind of admitting that, hey, we can't be as strong as you without stealing your stuff?
Yeah, or maybe have it be, you could, instead of having it be, maybe have it be he denies that Godzilla is triggered by what they're doing. He's like, no, Godzilla's going mad, so that's why we got to activate it. Do it like that.
Where it's just like
like
ignorance, which is
no, it's not even ignorance. It's pride. Like he thinks like we created this to deal with it, and just as we're almost done, Godzilla happens to go evil. I'm gonna take that as like we were meant to do this, as opposed to being like, I don't care what I'm doing. I have my own Titan. Again, it's more the simplicitness they made him. Make it be just a little more complicated. And good God, his daughter, could she have been any more stock?
It's just like, what was the point of her being there?
Well, again, you need someone there to say, get me the energy. But then once her point was her purpose was served, crush. Now again,
like you could have thrown in maybe like, I don't know, maybe a little bit of like a daddy-daughter vibe in there. Like, hey, once I get this, I'm basically going to be good with Dad forever.
Yep. Or maybe her death causes him to get a bit nuts because he doesn't even know she died. And as far as we know, earlier he's like, my daughter is very smart. She'll never let me down. Well, okay, technically that's half true. She did give him what he needed. She just didn't come back. And again, it's just have her be a little more subtle about it. Not, okay, no one move. And then having one guy pointing the gun at the little girl. First I'm like, okay, that's smart, trying to keep Kong off. But I'm like, no, wait, that's dumb. But overall, like I said, now, but again, that's still, but the stuff with Team Kong, the daughter aside, was great. I thought that was perfect. Overall, I thought the Team Kong stuff was perfect. You needed this for Kong because we haven't seen him in ages. You know what I mean? We had not seen Kong since, in the 70s.
Yeah.
That's been like 50 years. Like, what has changed since then? And then you just follow up with him, and it's just like, I really got a kick out of seeing where he is, how much older, but he's still immature though. That's the thing. All the stuff with Godzilla shows how immature he is.
Yeah, I mean, it's like kind of like the equivalent of like, okay, he was a teenager, now he's in his 20s.
Yeah, or even 30s if you want to be generous. But because he is fully grown, so that's why I would go more for 30s. Because 20, you're still kind of growing a little. Slowly, but but yeah, here it felt like, because we already knew that he felt he was the last of his kind. So, but he still had the natives. Now he has Ilya. Which again, I I get why you needed that. I get it. You wanted to make sure we can't keep him on Skull Island. Let's take him back to the Hollow Earth. I get that. That was fine, but did they have to be dead and everything? Like, I mean, okay, for Ilya, yes, but the rest of her parents, but the rest of them, why?
Like maybe her parents could have sort of sacrificed themselves so everyone else could get off the island.
Something like that, yeah. But I just noticed Bianca fights the zombies. I love the 1976 Kong. That one was good, but let's put it this way. I'll tell you this, because you haven't seen it, obviously. I have. It was obviously contemporary at that time for Kong. So they dealt with oil and all that stuff. It was very environmental-ish, you know what I mean? With the 76 Kong. I can show you it someday. But now let's talk about Godzilla. He wasn't as much the focus, but I thought what he had was perfect. Because he's still doing his job of protecting the Earth. He's trying to find this apex predator signal. Ghidorah, he's like, great, Ghidorah's still out there. Where is he? And
it's just that he just so happens to end up crossing hairs with Kong along the way, and well, he's got quite a temper about not being able to find the thing, and Kong is an easy target.
There's that, but I also know this. Godzilla is the type of person who won't care about civilian casualties as far as like, I'm going to go attack, like, I don't care what people think about me. I'm going to go attack. But when he does attack, he does try to keep civilian casualties to a minimum. Whereas Kong is the opposite. If you look back, he's the type of person who will protect and have a bond with humanity. But you take him off, he's going to kill people left and right like we saw him do to the military. And here, I mean, if you notice that, it's like Kong and Godzilla doesn't care for a bond, but he'll still try to avoid casualties. Kong's the opposite in every way, but you're like, yeah, you take him off, you're human, you're dead. Then again, no, I think it feels like also like people are more likely to try and shoot. Besides in jets, you have people who are more likely to try and shoot at Kong than you are Godzilla. Have you noticed that? Like more people still keep on thinking like we can deal with Kong, but we can't deal with Godzilla in a fair fight, and that's usually their mistake.
Yeah.
Now, Mechagodzilla. That was Mechagodzilla is my second favorite of the kaijus, and this I loved it. Now, I showed you this. I'm going to show the audience, just showing a little bit of the different other Mechagodzillas. Hold on. Just for those of you who aren't in the know, here's the Showa era. Oh, come on, play. Oh, why did it freeze? What do you think about that one?
Ooh. I mean, it looks a little bit corny, but that's sort of what you expected from that era.
Yep, and created by Space Monkeys. I'm not making that up. Now here,
You know what? That doesn't even surprise me.
Now then, here's there's the Heisei era.
Okay, a bit more intimidating.
But people said that face looks goofy. Do you think it does?
Yeah, I can see where they're coming from.
But this one almost actually did. The thing about Mechagodzilla is each one has almost always nearly killed Godzilla.
And
then here's Kiru, which ironically enough, there's elements from the current Millennium version. Because in this one, you have, oh, there he is. What do you think of that one?
Ooh. Godzilla Terminator.
Yep, but it looks, I say this has more the roughness of the Showa era, but the bulk of the Heisei era. And then, hold on, let me stop sharing this particular one. And then here we go. Ready Player One.
Now, isn't that an entrance?
Yep. Yep, that is an entrance. But the best part is that this one actually is based off of, I told you this one before, based off of another design. This is based off of the poster for Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Ooh.
yep. Now, so out of all of them, what do you say, and what is your favorite design now, including the current one?
That is a really tough decision. It's kind of like comparing apples to oranges.
But they're each different. But I say this, as far as the two American-made ones, I say that Ready Player One was more faithful to the actual Toho design. But as far as the recent, versus Kong, that one ended up being more of a much more what you think would happen in real life.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not
work.
clean. It's a whole hodgepodge of parts.
It is, but it still looks, given how big and chunky Godzilla is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What do you expect, right? Given how chunky he is, of course Mechagodzilla is going to still look chunky, but still leaner than his other versions.
Mm-hmm.
That's the funny thing about it. He actually is leaner compared to the other Mechagodzillas when you look at him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, overall, and again, knowing that this is King Ghidorah in the driver's seat and seeing how savage he was,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, God damn. I would love to see a battle royale between all of these Mechagodzillas. And I personally think it would come down to versus Kong and Kiru. That's the Millennium one. Oh, actually, there is one more version of something else I want to show you that also is a bit ironic given how we have Ghidorah in the driver's seat. You know why?
Why?
Did you know there actually was a Mecha King Ghidorah?
Ooh.
Yep. On.
Whoa.
See? And right in the middle head, too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, they took from everything when you think about it. They took from everything. So yeah, though, as far as this, now, do you feel like this felt like they were wrapping, they might have wrapped up too many loose ends and this feels like it's a grand finale? Or do you think they still have more adventures? Because part of me fears that they might have closed off too much.
Yeah, I can see why you'd say that, but they'll find an excuse for a sequel in there if it makes enough money.
Oh yeah, definitely. For them to do more. I'm just trying to figure out what. You dealt with their big 5 monsters. There are some other monsters you could bring in, like Space Godzilla or Destroya or something, but for the most part, there's really not a whole lot left you can do. And what can you do that doesn't just rehash the plots? That's the one downside of doing it like this, the way they were doing it. You're kind of running out of ideas. You're going to run out of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah. So I think I would be happy if it ends here. If it ended here, I can't think of a better finale.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Ghidorah's gone for good, and you were able to utilize Mechagodzilla at the same time, which, again, brilliant. That was brilliant. But if they were to do more, I'd be happy to. But again, that's my concern. I mean, what would you want to do? I mean, obviously you don't know many about Godzilla, but if you were to say come up with a fresh monster, for example.
Well, I just got a little bit of a somewhat, I don't know, maybe self-indulgent idea that is sort of a bit more Death Battle-esque. Crossing Gamera. That's what you do.
Gamera. I would love that. I think everyone would love that. But unfortunately, rights issues.
Of course. That's why I said it's a very self-indulgent fever dream.
Well, there was a death battle. Godzilla won it.
Mm-hmm. I meant like something a bit more official, of course.
Oh yeah,
but it's just
everyone.
like-
Besides a rematch with Kong, everyone's still been wanting Godzilla versus Gamera. And
Mhm.
yeah, since our
mean-
movie marathon, I don't blame you.
I mean, yeah, rights can be an issue, but if nobody's doing anything with the rights and they get offered enough money.
Oh yeah, exactly. Again, now it's also up to Legendary to get the rights. That's the big important thing. Legendary has to get the rights from Daiei. Yeah, Daiei. That's the company doing it. So I hopefully one day they think about doing it. If for no other reason than fan demand wants it.
It's just like you could make a crap ton of money off of this.
And then bring some of Gamera's villains. Oh, gee.
It's just like-
Rodan versus Gauss.
Ooh.
Yeah, just the two flying birds. Or Mothra versus Iris.
Ooh, yeah.
Or bring Legion back. Just Legion in general.
Yeah, just sort of a case where it's just like, hey, you've got, I don't know, I feel like you could almost pull off that particular formula with a Gamera versus Godzilla movie, and then in the end they sort of have to put aside their differences to fight off the Legion, because at the end of the day, both of them are interested in protecting the Earth. I don't know. At this point, we're basically writing fan fiction.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then have Kong be around for it. If nothing else, like, I'm keeping out of this one, but yeah.
It's just like, they can't get down here. You guys handle stuff on the surface. I'll keep watch down here.
Oh, I did not get my Godzilla and Kong hugs. Oh, that fan film. That fan film. Hold on, let me find it. You guys see it.
Oh no.
Yep, hold on. I know what he's talking about. Let me find it. Oh, here it is. This one I think we can show in its entirety because it's a fan film. It's not, you're going to laugh your butt off. You're going to laugh your butt off at it.
Oh boy.
Now, this is really good.
Yeah, I really like how it looks like it's shot on a phone camera.
Look at that Kong. I mean, it looks like Peter Jackson's Kong, granted. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit.
Oh shit, indeed.
This is so well made.
It really is.
Miller, just wait a moment. Just wait a moment.
Aww.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh. But there's more. Wait till you see who's behind the mastermind behind this. Oh God! This is a crack shipping. Oh. Of course.
think that was good. Do you think we should do a retake? This is an action movie, Deadpool.
Of freaking course, right?
What the fans want. A love story. Of course we will do a retake. You agree with me, right? Alrighty then. Scene is over. Wait. Gotta go.
That needs more hugs.
I don't know. Maybe when they're a bit more bros in the next movie, who knows?
Yeah, but again, no. I mean, sorry, I had to show you that as soon as he brought up the hugs. But yeah, again, seriously though, just the amount of the expressions. But I will say this: if there's one of the downs I had, the music. I really didn't pay much attention to the music. Not like King of the Monster.
I liked it at a lot of parts, but yeah, I guess it's just, now that you pointed out, I definitely didn't notice it as much as I did in King of the Monsters.
Because King of the Monster just redid a lot of the Godzilla motifs, which makes them stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're someone like me who knows the music. But yeah, I mean, it just felt, and that also now, as far as what I was saying, with Madison, how did you think about her in this compared to the last one? Do you think she was? Do you think she
was good, but I wish she wasn't stuck with the B plot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I get it. There was the only way for her to get involved was the way it played out, and she was the best part of that team.
Mm-hmm.
Bernie being second, Josh, why is he there except for pouring the liquid? But yeah, I mean, Madison, the actress is still very good, and she really sells it the whole time she does it. Every line she did, it sold it. Unfortunately, though, I felt like she was still a bit too fine. Madison supporting characters were not very good compared to Madison. Yeah, pretty much. But I thought she didn't have as much of a conflict as she did in the last one.
Mm-hmm.
The last one, you actually had built up about her being conflicted about her mother and everything, and then her actually taking it upon herself to help. Here, she's constantly just observing and then running. I think that's what bothers me. She didn't really get a moment to shine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She tried to call her dad, but everything she was doing was just watching. It was the guys who did most of the work.
Mm-hmm.
That, looking back, that does bother me a bit. Like, they did most of the work, and she just was there.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, these are nitpicks. These are nitpicks. It's still a good movie. I still place it above, second to King of the Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
As far as my overall favorite Godzilla movies, it's in my top 5, hands down. And again, I've seen way more than you have.
Yeah, I'm still a bit new to this whole kaiju thing.
Yep. Hey, you have a good head start with Gamera, having seen all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, maybe I can start showing you some of these through our own little private screenings that I have all those movies. Yeah, but yeah. Overall, though, I mean, I think we start wrapping. I'm running out of things to say.
Yeah, I'm running out of things to say too.
But yeah, overall, though, I do. Again, I'm happy if they ended here, but I would like to see more. This was a great way, the accumulation of everything. It did not disappoint. I mean, again, it stumbled a little, but it did not disappoint. And I am so glad Godzilla is the definitive. Wait, we didn't talk about that part. Godzilla getting on all fours.
Oh boy.
That was, wow.
That was feral.
That was feral. Oh, do you like the series more or less in the Pacific Rim? That's the funny thing is, I own both movies. I have not watched them yet. I need to watch those.
Maybe a future movie, right?
Maybe. But yeah, though. Yeah, exactly. He was. Otherwise, he would. Mechagodzilla was possessed by Ghidorah, Kevin, no less, and yet, and that allowed him to take control. It was not even a matter of him turning evil. It's a matter of he took control, probably thanks to the Hollow Earth energy. I think that's what did it. With the Hollow Earth energy, somehow gave him control. Because otherwise, Ren would have been in control.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I say Ren, I think back to Ruby. That's what probably ticks me off even more. You had to use that name. You know what I mean? Because it's like, he's no Lai Ren.
Yeah.
Then again, I say Kylo Ren was a better Ren than him.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing. There's a lot of Kylo Ren in him done poorly. And that's saying something when Kylo Ren himself is already done poorly. It's like, Ren Shirazawa is a poor man's Kylo Ren. What does that tell you? Right? It's just like, what? But yeah, I mean, again, overall, again, bunch of thumbs up, a whole bunch of thumbs up, and yeah. All right. No, I was disappointed. No one said let them fight. We only had it in the first movie, dude. You are beyond nitpicking at this point, dude. But yeah, no. Well, to be fair, I did say let them fight, but Ren wasn't going to say it. And aside from Madison, who wouldn't have thought about saying this, and nor were her father, there was no one else that left. Not even the twins, which disappointed me. I'm really disappointed they weren't there. They set them up, and we didn't see them at all. Wait, Bradley Whitford said it in the third one. Wait, Bradley Whitford. You talking about in King of the Monsters? Wait, Whitford. Who is Whitford? That name rings a bell now that I'm saying it out loud. Hold on, let me check the character page. Humans. I think he's saying that's one of the Monarch guys, I think. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Oh, Josh from what? Okay, I'll take your word for it. But yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed it, and hey, after this video, this stream and everything, I'm gonna start editing our videos and start posting them up. But yeah, any of you who are still here, thank you guys for sticking around. And watch the movie. If you have HBO Max, watch it. If you have not used the free week, use it and watch it. Watch it and watch the other three. Even the first one. Just, yeah. Oh, hey, First Gamer. Hey. But yeah, no. Get HBO Max. Even if it's for a short one-time thing, it's worth it. Wouldn't you say, Ingrid?
It definitely is.
Yep. And hey, they have all the Showa movies. Granted, they're all in Japanese, I just found out. But yeah, just check them out. That's all we have to say, and thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you on another time. We're probably going to do more of these, don't you think?
Yeah. It's first time to go ahead and try out a format like this.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Catch you guys on the other end. See ya.